It was late morning when I noticed the commotion outside my ranch. Karen had called the cops yet again, this time claiming she needed to grab my daughter from the property. Apparently, in her mind, HOA authority somehow extended to parental rights, and she believed the local police would comply with her demands. What she didn't realize was that I am the county sheriff, and my badge wasn't just for show. It represented real authority. I monitored the situation via the ranch's security cameras. Karen was pacing near the driveway, phone in hand, barking instructions into it as if the deputies on the other end were her personal army. She shouted something about unauthorized guardianship and community rules, all while neighbors gathered, watching the spectacle unfold. I stepped outside calmly, my badge visible in plain view, and addressed her over the PA system. Karen, this is the county sheriff. You are trespassing on private property and making false claims regarding custody. Any attempt to remove my daughter will be met with legal action. Karen froze, clearly unsure how to respond. But before she could react, I drove up, parked at the entrance, and stepped out fully uniformed. The deputies, who had initially arrived in response to her 911 call, immediately recognized me and shifted their attention accordingly. Karen's smug confidence evaporated. She had expected to manipulate the law against me, but she had no idea who she was dealing with. "Ma'am," I said firmly, approaching her slowly, "this is private property. My daughter is under my care. You have no authority to make any claims here. You are trespassing and making false reports to law enforcement." Karen sputtered, waving her clipboard. "But the HOA," I cut her off. "The HOA has no legal authority to interfere with my family or this property. You have violated state law by attempting to involve law enforcement in your personal vendetta. Step back immediately." At this point, the deputies had fully documented the situation, including her trespassing, repeated false claims, and aggressive behavior. Every move Karen had made was captured by high-resolution cameras, all of which were time-stamped and secured as legal evidence. Karen attempted to argue further, but her voice had lost its confidence. Her entire plan had crumbled. By calling 911, she had created a paper trail proving her trespassing, harassment, and false reporting. Meanwhile, I ensured my daughter was safely inside. The gates were secured, and the ranch's security system logged every movement. Within minutes, Karen was escorted from the property by the deputies. I made sure to file a formal trespassing report, detailing every interaction and highlighting her repeated attempts to misuse law enforcement authority. The HOA board was immediately notified, and her privileges were permanently revoked. Neighbors who had witnessed the situation were stunned. Karen had thought she could manipulate the law to seize a child under the guise of HOA authority. Instead, she faced public humiliation, legal documentation of her crimes, and permanent consequences for her reckless actions. Karen had thought calling the cops to grab my daughter would assert HOA control. Instead, she triggered law enforcement documentation, public embarrassment, and permanent revocation of HOA authority, all while my family and property remained fully protected. Karen tried to use the HOA to take my daughter. Instead, she faced humiliation, legal consequences, and permanent loss of HOA privileges, proving once again that rogue HOA members cannot interfere with private property or family safety without consequences.